Police say Robert Card should be considered armed and dangerous, and they're asking the public for any information leading to his capture. He is a trained marksman with sharp survival skills who knows the rural area well. The fugitive so far has eluded efforts to find him, but in late developments, the FBI could be seen closing in on his home this afternoon. We just checked in with Alex Capriello on that. There hasn't been any resolution. We're still waiting to see what's going on there. But joining us now with more on the search is Art Roderick. He's a law enforcement media consultant and former assistant director for investigations at the U.S. Marshals Service, and Andy Bershad, the retired detective from the New York Police Department's Emergency Service Unit and current CEO of Flying Aces, which conducts training and survival tactics for active shootings. Andy, you just happened to be 30 minutes from where the shootings happened. You were there leading an active shooter presentation for a client of all things. The first 911 call of an active shooter at the bowling alley was at 6:57, and then just minutes later, there were calls from the bar. He was moving very quickly, this shooter.
Clearly. So, yes, we were up conducting active shooter training. I actually happened to be with the chief from the client that I was with. We realized that there was a situation right away that was spreading rapidly. And, you know, as the investigation goes, you have to wonder, is it one person? Is it multiple persons? Is it some sort of organized hit? Kudos to the law enforcement that was on the scene that really put out the information, got the pictures and some names, and really tried to isolate it to the best of their ability.
Art, what does this tell you about the level of organization around this attack? He appeared to be moving quickly, and he had, with purpose. He knew exactly where he wanted to go and apparently exactly what he wanted to do.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah.
That's for Art.
I'm sorry.
That's good.
Oh.
No, yeah, you're right, Elizabeth. I mean, he obviously had planned this out, mapped it out. He had tons of ammunition on him. You can see his pockets are bulging in the still photo from the video. So, yeah, he had planned this out. And it's interesting now we're getting information that there was possibly a bad breakup with a girlfriend. And there's been other reporting that he hears these voices, and he specifically heard them at those two locations, both the bar and the bowling alley. So, you know, I think he had these targets picked out early on and went ahead, and whatever the triggering event that occurred yesterday happened, that's when he decided, hey, it's time to move.
What do you make, Art, of these reports that he might also, they're unconfirmed, I need to emphasize, unconfirmed reports that he might have left a note for his family? That would also indicate a definite level of planning here, which would also indicate maybe, like, his car was abandoned at this boat launch, indicating, did he get into a boat or another car that was parked there and waiting?
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the questions, obviously, law enforcement has. We've heard the Coast Guard's involved now. He has he has a boat that's registered to him, but he also has a Sea-Doo that is registered to him and a motorcycle. So, and this guy, knowing this particular area and having a fairly large extended family in the Bowdoin area, it's logical that that's where he would go after he committed this crime. He knows he's got support there in the Bowdoin area. And interestingly enough, I was watching Alex's reporting earlier at that location where he has family members. And I thought an hour ago, okay, we got him, when the FBI announced, come on out, and we heard 3 or 4 individual explosions. Those were more than likely flashbangs being tossed into the house before they made entry. So hopefully they've got some really good information there, or it might be one of the locations he was at in the past.
Hey, Andy, Robert Card has a documented mental health history. He was hospitalized for a few weeks in July of this past summer after his Army unit commanders reported that he was hearing voices and was threatening to shoot up members of his own unit. First of all, we're going to get into the mental health issues in a moment, but how will the mental health issues impact his ability to successfully evade police for very long?
Well, it sounds like he has a fair amount of outdoor skills. Obviously, even with the mental capacity, the mental potential disease that's obviously been documented, the coordinated attack, and especially the escape, where it seems like he's going back to turf that he knows that he's comfortable with in this undeveloped area, seems a little more coordinated. not to take anything away from the potential mental disease factoring on why you would go and shoot innocent people that are out at events, but it's kind of hard when you abandon it and look at it and to evade law enforcement. That many officers for that long seems a little more coordinated on his end.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.